SonderConnect, and this afternoon with me we have here Monika Shukla, founder of LetsEndorse. Monika, you have an undergraduate degree from IIT Kharagpur, an engineering degree, and now you're in the creating a platform in the non-profit space, right? Tell us what made you take this shift.
So I would actually attribute this shift to the kind of education that I got after graduating from IIT. So I actually underwent a very immersive program in the area of liberal arts with Ashoka University, and this was one full year where my stream and my knowledge base got broadened into understanding what are some of the other key challenges and some of the other segments of the society which I as an engineer was not looking at, right? And we sort of connected the dots and figured out that, hey, this is one big challenge where innovations are already there, but they are not getting translated on the ground, right? So how can we bridge the gap? And if this challenge alone is solved, it can solve multiple challenges in the space. So this actually came across to us as the biggest challenge that we ever knew of. And obviously, when you find a great challenge to work on and an equally great co-founder to work with, that's the sweet spot of every entrepreneur. So it didn't take me long to take the plunge.
So LetsEndorse has been around for how many years now?
About 3 years now.
In 3 years. In 3 years, you've already partnered with about 1,000 plus NGOs,
Yes.
right? And so each one of these NGOs, and these NGOs are all in India right now?
They are from everywhere, right from Ladakh to Kanchipuram to Dispur to Saurashtra. Yes.
And as a result, do they collaborate with each other also through your platform?
Yes, absolutely. So we have also made a lot of inter-NGO collaborations happen where one NGO got to learn from another NGO who was operating in a similar space, trying to solve a similar challenge, but in a very diverse geography. Right, so how can they harness knowledge about some of the best practices that work for them? What were some of the successes, setbacks, who could they partner with? So as a platform, we try to facilitate this harnessing of knowledge as well, apart from the core thing that we do, which is standardization of innovations. Yes.
How many NGOs do exist in India?
On paper, there are 3.3 million NGOs.
3.3 million NGOs, right?
Yes.
So you're really literally touched a dot on the not even tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
This is like literally
absolutely.
And
but a lot of these organizations are also Hindu undivided families. They also classify as NGOs, temples, trusts, who are not really the kind of organizations who we want to work with. But yeah, even if we consider 10% of that 3.3 million, that would also leave us with a sizable chunk of say 3 lakh NGOs. And again, as I said, 1,000 is just a dot in the entire space. Yes.
Where do you see LetsEndorse over the next 5 years? What are your plans for LetsEndorse?
Sure. So we want to be the de facto platform for discovery and smart discovery of social innovations by every actor in the ecosystem. Be it a governmental or a non-governmental organization, a corporate or a corporate foundation, a very driven individual or a team of student volunteers. So how can they find the most appropriate and the most befitting social innovation for their local geography and demography? And how can we make it extremely easy for them to adopt it, deploy it, and also in the way create a very solid pipeline for the social innovator to sell his innovations.
And what do you see as the biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest challenge in this space, the philanthropy space in India is at a nascent stage, I would say. Every year the Bain philanthropy report comes and says that 70% of the money is going to religious giving.
I just want to say to the temples,
to the temples,
right?
yes, exactly. Yeah. So, and that's also fair because there is a huge trust deficit between the funders and the funded organizations. Like there is no mechanism to ensure that you bridge the divide between the two. So as LetsEndorse, we are also trying to bridge that gap by involving ourselves in very solution-centric interventions. And consciously choosing to stay away from very welfare or charity-oriented interventions, which are never going to stop till the end of the earth, and which are not so quantifiable. Yes, precisely.
Yeah. All the very best, Monika. I'm sure if it's 1,000 today, in 5 years from now, it's going to be at least a couple of zeros added to that, right? All the very best.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with your journey.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.